All right, we just finished filming some content for HP20. We just did a week 3 workout, and we're just chatting briefly about the differences we're seeing with pack training versus gym training and how important it is to get used to your pack, train with your pack, and also just getting your body used to the straps on your traps, the straps on your hips, and how we're trying to get a bunch of those pain points handled here before we head into the mountains, so that when we head into the mountains, we're not dealing with that out on the hill. So we just tested a workout with Zach and Chris, and we're just chatting about the differences they feel doing pack training versus gym training. What did you notice today, Zach?
I think the biggest thing for me, like when you're using barbells or dumbbells, it's you kind of do your set, you take a rest. Then you do your other set, you take a rest. And even on the cardio days, even though we're going hard, but it's 30 seconds on, a couple movements, 30-second rest. This has been more sustained, kind of 15 minutes. You know, there might be a little rest, but you're going for 30, 40 minutes, kind of constant, like you would in the woods with your pack on, to where, all right, you're gonna go, let's get 2 miles in as fast as we can, and then take your break, drink some water, start again. So, yeah, it's just a little more specific for what you're actually doing when you get out there.
More endurance. Chris, what are you noticing?
Yeah, similar to what Zach said, is that especially for guys like us, I feel like having constant stress on your body, you need to really learn how to be economical with your movement, as opposed to, say, a traditional like HIIT style interval training, which is what we do a lot of. But using your pack and having that weight on you consistently through a workout, it's really the only way to mimic that feeling you're gonna get when you're out in the woods. And it's something we all hear from guys a lot, which is like, I trained and I did all this stuff, put my bag on, and they feel drained, right? It's just, it engages your nervous system in a different way, and it gets you mentally ready to go when you're ready to go out in the mountains and you're familiar with that feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Sarah and Jimmy, you guys have been the keys behind the majority of the design of this program. Like when you're first laying it out, what specifically were you guys thinking of?
First of all, just talking with a lot of the hunters that we train on what do they feel in the beginning of the season when they put their pack on for the first time, complaining about, their traps hurting or their hips hurting. And that's what kind of sparked this whole idea in the first place, is talking to a lot of our hunters and trying to figure out a solution so they don't have to go through this pain every year getting used to their pack again. And so we started doing the pack training. We sat upstairs and just put our brains together and started designing programs to get used to the pack, to strengthen core and hips and shoulders and mobility and cardio and strength, and trying to wrap it all up into one package. So yeah, it's been really good. It's been really fun.
It's the idea of kind of getting comfortable being uncomfortable, right, and getting ready and getting all that under your belt before you get in a situation that, you can't do what you went out there to do. So, and then, as far as programming, just making sure, I think you'll see in tomorrow's workout too, that it's incredibly translatable what you're doing here compared to what you're actually doing step by step when you get out there and have to load and increase weight and got to do it all over again, day after day. So.
Yeah, day after day, that's key. That's key, is getting used to this 5 days in a row, just like a hunt would be. We usually don't go hunting just for one day. And so we try to make this pretty intense, and week after week, the intensity is building every week, and we have that nice slow progression. By the end of the program, you should be used to your pack on your back 5 days a week. So
I think it's really cool too that even if you weren't a hunter, like if you were a military athlete or a skier or a backpacker, the really cool thing about HP20 is there's millions of people now that don't go to a gym or have access to a gym.
Right.
And it includes everything. So all the cardio's there, all the strength is there, all the core is there, all the mobility is there. So they can get a phenomenal workout in a very small space. You could easily do this in a living room with your pack and cover all the fundamentals of exercise science, which is pretty amazing.
Right. Yeah, that's what makes it so special. Yeah.
I think when you
it's
do
amazing.
go back and revisit a barbell or a dumbbell or kettlebell program even, you're gonna be blown away at how much more efficient you're gonna feel with the same weight. Obviously, dumbbells, barbells are a lot less cumbersome, a lot less awkward than holding a pack. And all you're doing is, just like Chris said, you're taxing that central nervous system, you're learning how to adapt, you're using muscles you never would have used if you had a 50-pound pack versus a 50-pound dumbbell. And that's the idea. You're building resiliency and you're like preparing for any kind of load, right? In any plane of motion or pattern. And we really worked hard to make sure we're getting all our movement patterns, our pulls, our pushes, our presses. Once again, our mobility is a huge part of this, because if you're not moving efficiently, that's when injury sets in. So for instance, today's workout was recovery, mobility, but they still got a lot out of it. Just because it's short doesn't mean it's not efficient and purposeful.
It's one of those days where you just have to work on the smaller movements, working on your core, shoulder mobility, explosive lunge jumps, and then there's days when we're going to really put the pack on you and just blow up your legs and get you used to your pack being on your back too. So every day has a purpose.
Zach, how do you feel like this will prepare you for the mountains compared to, you've done Mountain Tough for a long time, and there's been years where you've just done our gym program, so a couple of years where you just did preseason prep, but you've also experienced doing a lot of 45-70 work, which is a lot of similar pack training. Did you notice a pretty big difference in the backcountry?
Yeah, I think, the first year I did postseason and preseason, and I remember going into the woods and putting that pack on, and my recovery time was great, but with the pack actually on, it just felt grindy. You're out there just grinding. You're like, well. But the 45-70, and I think this one as well, it gets you used to that grind, to where you put it on and you go, and you don't feel that like, okay, here we go. You're just kind of used to it. So.
Yeah, nothing's like it. Yeah, might as well work out with your pack on and get used to it.